Hey guys, one of the most frequently asked questions that I get is how do I get rid of my fat in my midsection? So I have 6 tips for you today. Your first tip is watch your sugar intake. Really be conscientious of what's on in your food and read your labels. When I first started losing weight, one of the things that I didn't even realize was how much sugar was in the yogurt I was eating. Some of my yogurts that I was having had somewhere around 26 grams of sugar. So really look at your labels and see how much sugar, how many grams of sugar per serving there is. So that's my first tip. Second tip is to eat more protein. Protein will help to get rid of any sugar cravings that you might have, will help to to reduce those cravings anyways, and will also help you to stay full longer. So one of the tips that I also give my clients is if you're super hungry at the end of the day, make your so-called cheat or extra snack, have it be something that's based around a protein. Maybe you have an extra protein shake, maybe you do protein balls, maybe you find some sort of fun recipe, but have it be based around a protein so that you stay full longer. So that's my second tip. Third tip, watch your carb intake. So reducing carb intake might help because of the fact that if you have an excess of carbs, it's going to store as energy, and energy is stored as fat. So that might sit right around that midsection. So thinking about, do I have a lot of highly processed foods in my diet? If you do, you might want to, transition to something that's not as processed or eliminate something like that. So another thing that I had when I was started losing weight was I loved cereal. So not only did I have a high amount of sugar in my cereal, but I also had a high amount of carbs that I was consuming when I was eating my cereal. And I also love bread. So I get a lot of clients too that say, Angie, I just love bread and I love cereal. And so do I, but everything in moderation is what I like to preach. There's no reason why you can't have that cereal, but maybe you decide to have just that one serving and actually measure it out, because I don't know about you guys, but my eyes are always bigger than my stomach. And if I actually truly were to have a bowl of cereal and follow the guidelines of what the serving size is, I definitely am never satisfied off of that. So I like to have something else to fill that in. So maybe it's you have your, half a cup of cereal, but then maybe you have an egg to go with it. So you have a carb and a protein. So look at where your carb intake is, and maybe you can transition to even having half of a serving of what you love. If it's a full cup of cereal, maybe it's a half a cup of cereal that you have, and then you have some sort of protein with it. So just a tip there. So first up was monitor the sugar intake. Second, up your protein. Third, watch your carb intake. Fourth, eat foods rich in fiber. So I know I have a lot of clients that are like, but Angie, I just don't like vegetables. Vegetables and fruits are going to be high in fiber. And also, not having fruits, it's not the same to eat fruit and drink fruit. So if you're having juice, that's not going to give you the same amount of fiber that you would if you were to eat the actual apple or eat the actual orange itself. So really think of where your fiber intake is coming from. And one of the things that I say, I grew up in a family where my vegetables were boiled cauliflower and broccoli smothered in Velveeta cheese, and we had corn and canned peas and canned green beans. That's what I grew up on, and iceberg lettuce. So I hated vegetables when I was a kid, but my tip is I'm probably one of the best vegetable eaters in my family now, because of the fact that I tell people, if you don't like vegetables, chances are you're preparing them the wrong way. And so try to experiment. I mean, you have so many resources at your tips. Google recipes or go on Pinterest and find some sort of recipe. There's so many resources that you have that you can tap into to find good recipes. Or message me and I'll help you find some recipes on, hey, Angie, how do I figure out how to like Brussels sprouts or carrots or broccoli or whatever it is? So by all means, use me as a resource. I'm happy to help you with vegetables, fruits, whatever it is, but increase that fiber, because that's going to keep that digestive tract going, and it's also going to keep you full. It's good. So Fifth, exercise. You cannot outwork bad eating habits. I see people in the gym here all the time and they're not getting the results that they want, and they're like, but I've been working so hard. Well, it comes down to a lot of nutrition. What does your nutrition look like? And so I noticed that, especially for me. Like, I was an active kid, but my diet wasn't in line with how I wanted my body to look. And so if that's the case, then you have to shift and figure out, how do I change some of my habits to fit so that I'm showing up and the outside of me is reflecting what I want from the inside out. So look at what your exercise is and make sure that your food fits between those two things too as well, so that you're getting the results that you're looking for. Again, that's something that I'm happy to help with, and if you have questions, by all means share and I will get back to you, and maybe I can help you and we can tap into something, unlocking some little resources or adding something into your diet to achieve the results that you're looking for. So, and the last one, maybe tracking your food. So I have people that come into my office all the time that are like, I have a really healthy diet, until they actually write it on paper, and then they're like, oh my word, I didn't realize I was eating that, or that bad, or that I went out to eat that often, or that I had those foods, or that it was out of hand that much, or that I was consuming that much sugar and not enough protein and that high of carbs, or whatever it is. So track your food, look at what it is. So when I first started losing my weight, when I was 250 pounds, I was like, I have to start tracking food, because portion control was one of my biggest issues. I loved big portions, but I was looking for big portions to feel full and satisfied, because I was feeding an emotional behavior that I had behind that. So really look at, like, what is your food, and also the emotion behind it. So recap. Number 1, monitor your sugar intake. Number 2, eat more protein. Number 3, cut your carbs or choose less processed carbs. Number 4, eat foods rich in fiber. 5, exercise. And 6, track your food. Even if it's for a small period of time, I promise it'll be worth it. And if you want, contact me. I'm happy to look at your food diary and see where we can tweak things, add things, and make it so that it fits your lifestyle, and that you can have long-term results versus having short-term results and then you gain and lose that 10, 20, 40 pounds over and over and again. I want you to achieve those results that you can have for a long time, for the rest of your life. So thanks so much. Comment below. Follow me on Instagram at Angie Thierry, or follow me on Facebook, Angie Thierry. Thanks so much. Have a good one.